That's right. It is the morning show right here on KVVB TV, Channel 33, Facebook Live, Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, and now Roku TV. Glad to have you with us. On today's show, we're going to be talking about gaming, yes, and how it actually is of benefit to you and your family. You're probably thinking, wait, what? And then, of course, there is H&R Block doing some great things for the community, plus just a good reminder of, have you done your taxes yet? So we'll be talking about all that and more. First of all, we got Mr. Jesse Sanchez over there. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
So do you feel games can be beneficial for you and your family? What do you think about that? That's a good statement, right? Do you agree with that statement?
Yes, I think certain games can be beneficial and to learn and stuff like that.
Yeah. I agree
Very
with
much.
that actually. Because I've always said like there's a lot of video games that actually in fact, now that I'm like looking at the little 7-year-old, I'm like, wow, because there's some really good games even on the iPad, right? There's like games that make you think, like puzzles, strategy. And I'm thinking about all these and then, seeing his strategy and his mind work in such a way, I'm like, oh, okay, so you get it. And then there's those that you're like, oh my goodness, I had no idea they had that. So I think we're focusing on more of the educational, better part of gaming. But of course, there's the whole extreme other gaming, which we all know and love, depending on what age you are, right? So, of course, we'll talk a little bit about that. Very interesting show. Also, National Chocolate Mint Day, National Lash Day, and National Vet Girls Rise Day. Of these, Jesse, which will you want to celebrate today?
Let's go with Chocolate Mint Day.
National Chocolate Mint Day. Okay, I'm glad you said that. Actually, I have a little chocolate mint in the refrigerator right now. I think it's gotten way too much ice there, known as freezer burn. You know what that's like. So how do you observe it? Well, you can always, of course, get your favorite chocolate mint frosting recipe. It looks great, decorated with chocolate mint candies. It's a perfect way to celebrate today. Mint frosting for chocolate cake. 1 package of cream cheese with 8 ounces softened. 1/4 cup butter or margarine softened. 3.5 cups powdered sugar. 1 teaspoon mint extract. Green food coloring in a large bowl. You beat it together. You make it all together, and voila, that's the end of that story. There you go. That's our cooking show for today. I promise you we'll have more cooking tips in the future, but for right now we need to take a quick break. We are only given so many minutes to talk about anything, so we'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned. All right, Jesse. So, of course, you know what my question is going to be. Top of the day, we're talking about gaming. What's your favorite game of all time?
My favorite game. I'm going to have to go. It was a PlayStation game called Suikoden 2. Yeah, it's a weird title.
Wait, what was it called again?
Suikoden,
Is it, it
Suikoden.
isn't that hold on. I want to say wasn't that the puzzle game, but now I'm seeing that was like a role-playing game.
Yes.
Got it. So you didn't like Final Fantasy?
Oh, I like Final Fantasy, but the story for Suikoden and Suikoden 2, it just got me a little bit more.
Oh, I get you. I get you. Yeah, once I got into role playing games, it's. How do I explain that to the person that's never played it, Jesse? How do you explain that?
Um, I don't know. It's complicated. I mean, I play for the story.
Well, that's the thing. It's a long story. Like, for example,
Yeah.
Final Fantasy is a minimum. If you play it for beginning and nonstop, it's 50 hours minimum, right? And it's a full story. So you get
Yeah.
to like, instead of most action games where you just punch, 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 hit, 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 you select things and then you have to create strategies of things like in your bag or in your item bag, right? And then you have to pull those things out, make new swords or new armor, right? I don't. Other than that, you gotta choose your way throughout, but you have a storyline that takes you throughout. Just depends on how you get there, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. They even have games for like it's open world, and you choose your adventure where you want to go.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's yeah. You go which shop you want to go, what you want to buy, what you want to do, and when they went online, that went really next level. That's a whole other community of role playing game, and I have to say, it's one of those that as much as I love, I cannot play it because I'll sit there and I will be like, that's it. This is all I'm doing now for life. So yeah, it's a complete waste of time for myself. However, for
10
those that
seconds,
have the time, I say go at it and have fun while you can.
5 seconds.
All right. That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. Joining our live TV audience over there at KVVB TV 33, Facebook Live, Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, and now Roku TV. Glad to have you with us. We got Mr. Jesse Sanchez over there. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
Now, before our next guest calls in, I know you get all like distracted over there with H&R Block, which we're going to be talking to just around the corner, and some great stuff that they're doing. Also, we're going to be talking about gaming. But first, I thought, Jesse, you know, you have a dog, right? Like, so if you could possibly know what your dog was saying and when your dog was saying it, would you want a device to translate for you what your dog was saying? Just out of curiosity.
I would love to be able to speak to my dog. I'm not sure if I would want him divulging any secrets of mine, but keep that down to us.
Yeah, he sees everything, really. But you're okay with like cameras being on in your television. So, but here it is. It's a $60 collar. It's a viral new product from the company MSCHF that translates dog barking into profanity. So it's a cuss collar. So, what?
Lord.
Yeah, every time your canine barks, the speaker on the dog collar will say a curse word, given even the politest of pooches a potty mouth. They have a video, actually, of this on the company's website. It shows the collar in action, spewing all kinds of words that we cannot repeat here on the show without getting an FCC ban. The collar is made out of patent leather, features a stainless steel buckle. It's currently sold out. This is a big gift item. But those interested in purchasing the gadget can text the number given on the Cuss Collar website to be informed when the product is restocked. The company also warns that the collar is not intended to be used for any type of training, including anti-bark training. So there you go. It's not that type of collar, which I've heard people do to their dogs. I'm not sure if you've ever thought about that, Jesse, but I know of people that have. Do you know what I'm talking about?
To make them, you talk about like a shock collar?
Yeah. I don't recommend those, by the way. That seems like if you as a human being could put that on, that's one thing. But if you're not going to put it on, I don't know why you'd want to put that onto a dog, right? So, the shocky thing, yeah.
Somewhere instead of shock, it'll like vibrate.
Okay, but then they're like, ooh, that feels good. Ooh, barking again. Right? So a little massage collar. That you're right. I think I kind of need that. That would be good for, especially when they get like what's the word when they get not social anxiety, but they get anxiety when you leave. Yeah, there you go. All right. So there you go. I just thought that was an interesting item there. And then there's this Oreo. Oreo's been in the news for doing some pretty cool stuff. This one kind of I'm a little confused on. Oreo and Supreme. Do you know the brand Supreme, Jesse?
Supreme. No, I'm not. So you're kind of worrying me now.
Okay, Supreme is a huge brand, and any teen and younger and even mid-level will actually know what Supreme is. It's this huge brand that if you stand, okay, seriously, we one time stood in line for a gift for at the time he was 17, and we stood in line for I want to say like an hour and a half. In this line in LA because it's a big thing, like to get in. People come from all around the world. We were meeting people from international being like, yeah, we're going to the Supreme store. So it's a really big brand in LA and online. A lot of these stars and celebrities made it really big. Well, it's gone next level. If you've ever spotted a Supreme store in real life, you'll see the outrageously long lines of people. Fans of the expensive streetwear brand wait hours. Some have even flown in from out of state, camped down in front of the Supreme 11 stores. They have 11 stores to purchase and get this. The secondhand. Here's a secondhand jacket. Just give you the craziness of this. $2,600 for a secondhand jacket. While the practice may seem mystifying, Supreme announced this week that they have a pack of limited edition Oreo cookies with the brand's logo baked in. A representative for Oreo confirmed this. Each $8 package contained three, count them, three red double stuffed Oreos with the Supreme logo located where you would normally see the word Oreo. And there you go. What do you think about that? That's pretty amazing. So there's that. And if you want to go ahead and check it out, it's very simple. All you have to do is follow the official Twitter account for Oreo, as well as the Supreme Saint. They tweeted a photo of the limited edition snack along with news about the rest of the items in the new collection. The tweet has garnered 58,000 likes and many, many more retweets. Although one person actually did joke about this, which I'm not going to lie. I've seen this happen, unfortunately, with myself. He says, well, but will it make my poop red? That's what the statement was from the person. I don't know if that is a true, but I do know this. We need to switch gears entirely. Yes, it's that time for our special guest, H&R Block. When's the last time you got your taxes done? We hope you did it last year. It's coming up around the corner this year. H&R Block does a lot more than just taking care of your taxes. And joining us right now is somebody over from H&R Block, which I'm super happy about because let's just face it, we all need some help over there from H&R Block. So we got Karen Orozco, Senior VP of U.S. Retail at H&R Block. Good morning. Welcome to the show, Karen.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, but I understand you guys are really doing next level stuff. I mean, not only are you helping people with their taxes, but you are partnering with Nextdoor, which I understand is a neighborhood hub which asks Americans to nominate an improvement project in their neighborhood, and you guys have teamed up with them on this. What's going on?
We have. Well, we know that despite the fact that we're more digitally connected as a society, Americans are struggling with isolation. Only 31% of us know our neighbors, and more than half of all Americans say they feel lonely. And at H&R Block, we're about creating human connections, and Nextdoor has been a neighborhood hub connecting neighbors digitally, so together we know we can help.
I'm not going to lie. I mean, when I think of my neighbors, I don't know them. I wanted to go door to door with my neighbors just to be like, hey, I'm that guy. Because as when you know your community well, it seems like you foster a really good connection. You help each other out. You look out for unwanted strangers or people in the community, and you have each other's backs. Is that kind of what Nextdoor is about?
You know, Nextdoor is about connecting neighbors in a way, whether it's things like, my dog got loose, I've lost my dog, or I think I saw somebody prowling around, or in my neighborhood, we get a lot of wildlife, so occasionally someone will post, hey, bring your small dogs in, I saw a fox out last night.
Right.
And so it is really about neighbors looking out for neighbors.
Well, and I love this because we're seeing some video of you guys helping like projects out in the community, whether it be a park or fixing up or making sure that the community is beautiful. What do residents have to say about this great program?
Well, part of what we've always done at H&R Block, and we're very proud of, is that we make a difference. We provide help in the communities where we operate. And that's been true about our company for 65 years. So we have 10,000 offices across the country that are in communities. And we do things like you mentioned, helping clean and paint a school and get it ready for the fall when the school starts, or participating in a Saturday St. Jude walkathon. So we've always done those things, and the communities have rallied around that and been really excited for the way that H&R Block is a part of the community. And so our partnership with Nextdoor and these neighborhood improvement projects is a natural extension of that.
Well, and I'm not going to lie. I mean, sometimes people are a little, you need an introduction, right, to meet your community. Some people are like, they don't want to meet their community. They don't know what it's all about. But I'm understanding even the youth of these communities are benefiting. I believe I saw something where you guys were, or Nextdoor was actually doing where they were even helping make bikes to give away. And I mean, that's pretty amazing. I can imagine you guys wanting to join up with that.
Yeah, actually in Orlando this past year at our national convention, We had over 3,000 of our associates and franchisees come together and create meals for children in need across the country and build bikes that we were able to deliver to children that needed them, either as means to get older children to get to school or younger children to be able to have that bike and the joy that comes with that, to be able to ride with your friends in the neighborhood. So it is awesome. And we've already seen some early submissions on project requests from across the country where neighbors are submitting everything from, hey, can you help us have a block party so that we don't have to go door to door and we can get to know each other, to, hey, can you help us? We're in Houston and we're still rebuilding after the hurricane. Can you help us build a playground or a dog park so that we can come together as families and as a community? So we can't wait to pick 10 projects and start to bring that to life this spring.
Okay, so I'm going to the website where evidently, and I know people are asking this right now, wait, I have not seen this in my community just yet, but evidently there's a process to get your community or your neighborhood on this list. For those wondering, where would they need to go?
For more information and to submit an improvement project for your local neighborhood, go to hrbnextdoor.com.
Yeah, and I'm checking it out right now, and I see the nominate your neighborhood. So I'm going to type this in, nominate our neighborhood. I know our neighborhood needs this. And you can pick your project. I love this. Celebrate a neighbor, community garden, playground renewal, neighborhood cleanup, neighbor's tale. I got to ask you something. Look, I understand, again, H&R Block we all know it for what it is. You guys help us do our taxes, right? Is there anything that going forward, though, into this tax year that we need to be aware of?
You know, one of the things that is most important is to understand that changes in your life over the last year or this year often translate into changes in your tax situation. So the biggest tip I can give all of your listeners is that get help and expertise and make sure that you're not just doing what you did last year, because you'll miss out potentially on credits and deductions that can get you a better tax outcome. So making sure that you look at your life, and we look at your life through taxes, and really help make sure to get you the best outcome each and every year.
Well, and each and every year we've had you on our show, and each and every year I hear something new, and I understand. I know last year you had this really cool where you would advance a certain amount of money for people if they had a return. Is there anything special coming up this year?
Well, you are talking about our refund advance, and that goes through the end of February, so there's still time. You can get up to $3,500 of your tax refund literally in minutes, loaded to an Emerald card. When you file with us, you can apply for that. There's no interest and no fees on that. And it's just one more way we're helping clients get access to their money faster. The second thing that I'm really excited about that is we're seeing great reaction to is our Tax Pro Go service, which is a way that you can get all the expertise of having our tax professionals do your return for you, but you don't ever have to leave the comfort of your own home or your own couch. You can take a picture of your tax documents, upload them, talk to your tax pro, and get it taken care of quickly and easily.
Wow, look at that. All right. Well, Karen, I want to say a big thank you to you and all the stuff that you're doing behind the scenes as well, helping communities in our own backyard. I can't wait to nominate this. Again, it's hrbnextdoor.com. And of course, if you're going to do your taxes this year, you might want to check out H&R Block. I want to say thank you, Karen, for spending time with us here on The Morning Show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, there you go. So if you have been wondering, wait a minute, where am I going to take it? I get it. Sometimes some people are very loyal to the ones that they've seen do their taxes. However, I always say get your taxes re-looked at, even if it's for free, just to make sure you got everything that was coming to you. They can redo it, by the way. They just have to check it out first. All right, we are going to take a quick break here on The Morning Show. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned. All right, so for those of you tuning in on Periscope, we see you. Thank you for tuning in. We got quite a few of you. Servan tuning in. Thank you, Servan. Omi is tuning in. JB, D. Miller, Mark Welke, BHGS2 or BHG Stew, it's your first day on Periscope. Welcome. For the rest of you, and you don't know what Periscope is, Twitter owns Periscope. So if you're on Twitter, you see our show on Twitter. It's pretty cool. And then you just retweet, share with your friends, give us some hearts. We appreciate it. Bianca Solis is tuning in. Says, hola. Allegence tuning in as well. And Isel Fountain and John Burnsill, thank you for tuning in. Also on Facebook, we see you in the chat room over there. We got Casey tuning in, says, I already did my taxes on the H&R Block website. Whoa, look at that. So you qualified. Josue is over there. Evelyn Rivera, Bobby Stamps says, oh my God, taxes. Gerald says, good morning. Good morning, Gerald. Lopez, good to see you with us. Jamie Rios is in the house. Good morning, Jamie. Stephanie Reed says, today I'm addicted to the online app name of Best. Wait, is it Fiends or Friends, or is that a typo? Because that sounds like a cool title, Best Fiends. Right?
It's called Best Fiends.
It is. It's really called that.
Yeah.
Oh, now I got to look at it. Because I know there was one called Best Friends, but now Best Fiends. Let's see. Best Fiends game. Download now for free. There's one that I saw that Jennifer Lopez is asked, she's marketing it. I don't know which one. Is that this game, or which one is that one?
I'm not sure. I didn't know she was marketing a game.
Oh, yeah. I saw it on my Facebook feed. I was like, oh, look at that. Jennifer Lopez and gaming. And I'm like, wait, does she really play the game, or did they just hire her and then that's all she's doing? Don't you ever wonder that? Remember when Ryan Reynolds was playing? I mean, you like Ryan Reynolds doing whatever he's going to do, right? But you always ask, or I ask myself, maybe that's just in the back of my head. They're just playing it because they got paid to play it, and then do they actually play it? Because there's some games I get addicted to, and I don't like. Remember Candy Crush?
Yes, my mom is still addicted to that.
Don't get started. That's all I got. I mean, that thing, I got up to 157, I think, before I said, you know what, this is just too much time on this thing. So yeah, I have to self-regulate on that game. Fun game though. Get your mind going. Frustrating though at times. Ugh.
2 seconds.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. And if you're just joining us, we just had a great conversation with H&R Block and all the great stuff that they're doing over there. If you want more information on what we were talking about, it's called HRB Next Door. They're teaming up with Next Door, doing some great stuff for the community. And if you want to nominate your neighborhood as well, all you have to do is go there and say, you know what, that we need a lot of cleaning up, or there's other things that you can also suggest as well for your neighborhood. Do you know your neighborhood well? You might want to, especially coming in the days. I mean, look, if there's a natural disaster, you want to know your neighborhood and your friends, right? You want to know who's there, who's supposed to be there, and who's not supposed to be there. Well, that's the way I feel about it, at least our neighborhood. So there you go. Big shout out to those tuning in live over there on Periscope. We see you guys. Yes, if you're tuning in on radio and our TV and you want to see some of the fun behind the scenes, you can also tune in online. And some people do it back and forth, the same, simultaneously. It's pretty cool. We got people tuning in: Emma, Marco, John, and Bianca, who says hola. We've also got on Facebook Diana Chenevere, who says, good morning, everyone. Greetings from the Emerald Coast of Northwest Florida on the Gulf of Mexico, aboard my humble yacht, Crown Prince. And let's see, Tim Harris over there, Bobby Stamps, and many, many more. All right, so before we were talking about Oreo cookies that are now have the Supreme logo, and now I might as well keep it in the food category. McDonald's. Well, coming up around the corner, right, is the special, what's that called? The Shamrock Day? The Green Day? What's it called? Irish Day? St. Patrick's Day. That's right. McDonald's is coming out with the Shamrock Shake, which for Jesse and I is no bueno for our digestive tract, because we've got that lactose intolerant thing going on, unless we take that lactate. But here it is for the rest of you community who can love this. February 19th, yeah, Shamrock Shake fans, not only will McDonald's popular mint-flavored shake return to restaurants nationwide for the first time in 3 years, but it will be joined by the new Oreo Shamrock McFlurry. And both seasonal items will be available for a limited time, starting nearly a month before St. Patrick's Day. me lucky stars. McDonald's has served the iconic cult favorite shake for, get this, 50 years. 50 years. That's a pretty big time. Linda Van Goosen, the company's vice president of menu innovation, said in a statement the Shamrock Shake, created in 1967 by Hal Rosen, a Connecticut McDonald's owner and operator who made the shake for St. Patrick's Day, debuted in select locations across the nation in 1970. Of course, it's racked up decades of popularity. One Twitter user wrote this: "Every day we draw nearer to Shamrock Shake season and thus to God's light." Another person wrote, "Seasonal depression probably wouldn't be as bad if the Shamrock Shake was made available in early February." And so there you go. So do you love the Shamrock Shakes? We want to hear about it in social media. Let us know. Wendy's. What is it, like a malt shake? It's more like the malty, so it's like the thicker kind. And then you put some French fries in that, and oh, so good. I can't help it. It's just the way I feel. Jesse, you're not a fan of that, right?
No, unfortunately not. I stay away from ice cream. I like it, but it don't like me.
Yeah, I get that. Uber is in the news. Yeah, remember when Uber was just like a cool saying? It was like, Uber, I went to Uber. This just came out, by the way. Uber has reportedly shut down their downtown LA office. They've laid off about 80 employees who work there and shipped their jobs, get this, to the Philippines. Yes, employees were told Thursday that their jobs would go to a customer support office in Manila, Philippines. This was reported by the LA Times originally, by the way. Uber went public last year. Drivers in LA and parts of Orange County say their wages have been cut. Prices for passengers have gone up after California's new gig worker law went into effect this year. The newspaper says more than 1,000 workers have been laid off by Uber since May of 2019, but workers at the company's office in Santa Monica were not affected by the most recent round of layoffs. Uber has not released a statement about the layoffs, but what do you think about that, Jesse?
I feel bad for those people that got laid off. Very sad.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you wonder. I mean, you got Lyft over there. What's going to happen over there with Lyft? Is this the beginning of what is to come? Many people are, of course, we're on both sides of that. I get it. The drivers, of course, being independent contractors and then being like, wow, we got to be protected. And then I understand I understand both sides. However, this is just kind of the first of many things to come down the line. So I don't know. I don't know. Have you ever Ubered or Lyfted, Jesse?
No.
Yeah, neither have I, actually. I don't think. No, I've Lyfted. Was it an Uber or a Lyft? I think it was a Lyft that we, which I personally, I would do it again and again. However, and I understand a lot of people depend on this. So I guess in order to keep prices the way they are, they're trying to think outside the box, which is outsourcing it, but not sure what that means for our economy. But there you go. Okay, we got to take a quick break here on the morning show. When we get back, we are continuing. It's all about entertainment and gaming next, right here on the morning show. Stay tuned. For those of you tuning in, we're going to be talking about gaming. I'm just trying to bring up see what I can find out about this. It's called Game Generation. It's a campaign to promote the gaming's benefits. And let's see here. Ooh, E3 coming up around the corner. Can't wait. Hey, Jesse, you ever been to E3? Oh, he's waiting on the phone. Okay, got it. All right. So I'm looking up an article here on this. Let's see. Some interesting stats here we're going to come out with. All right, so we'll be joined in a moment here. Let me see if I can get his name right before I go on here. All right, it's Stanley Pierre Louis. Pierre Louis. No, it's Louis. I have the pronunciation there. Yes, I know I'm talking in half because I'm talking to the person in my ear right now. So that's how we roll. Okay, let's see. In Periscope, thank you, Ed, tuning in. Thank you.
We got 20 seconds.
All right.
And no, I've never been to E3.
Oh wow, you are a multitasker. Yeah, E3. We gotta make that happen for you, Jesse. I don't know how we're gonna pull you out of the bunker over there, but we got to figure this out. You don't work on Saturdays, right?
No, Saturday and Sundays are my day off.
But I think they do it. It's only during the. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out.
Got 2 seconds.
Get you a media pass.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
I know. That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. Joining our live TV audience over there at KVVB TV, 33 Facebook Live, Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, and much, much more. Yes, on Roku as well. We're pretty much everywhere, and so is gaming, by the way. Boy, oh boy, is it around the world and then some. Joining us right now is the CEO and ESA President, Stanley Pierre Louis. Good morning. Welcome to the show, Stanley.
Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for joining us. Look, Stanley, I understand gaming. Look, I am one of those very early adopters back to Atari, so you don't have to convince me that gaming is good for the family. However, I understand there's a new campaign. What's the campaign and what's it going to do and help benefit?
We're excited about sharing this campaign with the world. It's called Game Generation, and it really looks to celebrate the positive impact that video games have on our society. Today, people play video games because it's fun, it's enjoyable, it's challenging, getting to that next level. But we're also finding that it has a lot of positive attributes that people haven't thought about and recognized. One, video games build a sense of community. And in fact, 65% of people who play today play together with someone either in person or online. And so that's creating a lot of community. It's also highly inclusive. Right now, you have just as many people over 50 playing as under 40. You have 33 being the average age. And in fact, 46% of gamers in the United States are women. And so there's a game for everyone because everyone is playing. And then you're seeing games really feed other enterprises and fields, whether it's the medical profession or the educational field. It's being used everywhere. So we want to celebrate that and make sure people recognize the amazing value that video games bring for fun, but also in the society in which we live.
Well, and I'm glad you're bringing this up because I had this conversation with my mom recently who she used to tell me way back in the day, why are you playing those games? She didn't get it, right? But recently she got onto Facebook's Farmtown, which is, I guess, a type of game, right? And she can't wait to, like, yield her crops or do everything. And I would say, and sometimes I tell her, see, Mom, now you know what I went through. But I understand there's a lot of games as well that are very beneficial and educational. Can you talk about some of that?
Absolutely. We're finding that parents, in fact, 73% of parents find that video games help in educational outcomes for their children. And that mirrors a report by the U.S. Department of Education that found that 71% of educators find that using video games in the classroom helps in terms of computational skills, it helps in terms of numeric skills, and more there are educational tools that help us in terms of understanding storytelling and languages. And in fact, the largest provider of civics education in the United States today is a video game company called iCivics, and it was founded by former Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, Sandra Day O'Connor, as her legacy project because she wanted the world to really understand what civics means and how to benefit society. So it's being used in all facets in education.
Well, and with the latest like adoption of VR, I'm seeing a lot more when it comes to educational. I'm not even just I don't know that they were still considered as gaming, but then there's stuff that even doctors use now. It's almost like it's an evolved from gaming to now for the general public to use in quite a different way. Is that right?
That's right. And one of the great things about our industry is we fuel technology for gamers that then gets used for cross purposes in other fields. So medical doctors are being trained in medical school as well as afterwards on how to, do surgeries through the use of virtual reality technology or VR technology. But you're also finding that companies like UPS use VR technology to help train their drivers to avoid hazards on the road. You're finding that Walmart actually onboards many of its new employees through VR. So the technology and the simulations in the games are fueling other uses that are exciting and benefiting society.
Now, Stanley, I gotta ask you. Okay, what was your first earliest memory of gaming that you were like, oh, I love, and you were almost, I don't want to say addicted. I feel like that's sometimes the wrong word, but you just could not put down.
Pac-Man. That was phenomenal growing up, as was Pong and the other games. So I was an early gamer and really enjoyed those. And I've rediscovered gaming through my 13-year-old, who has played it all of his life, which means I play the games that he plays. Formally better than he played, but today it's tougher because the kids, they learn pretty quickly. So it's still an exciting part of my life, both professionally and personally.
Well, and I understand E3 is coming up around the corner in our neck of the woods over here in Los Angeles. Each and every year I see it. It comes and goes. And I often think to myself, maybe I should go this year. Well, I understand you guys are probably going to be there as well. Is there anything we can look forward to?
We're excited about this year's E3, which will run in Los Angeles from June 9th to June 11th. There have already been announcements by some of the leading companies in the video game space to be there, including Microsoft and Nintendo and others. So it's going to be a fantastic showcase for the world to see what's new and exciting in video games, but also to share the joy with other consumers and fans of video games everywhere. So it's an exciting time to go there. And to learn more about E3, go to e3expo.com, where there are registrations available for media and for consumers to buy a limited number of tickets.
Yeah, and they go quick, too, by the way. I can tell you that from experience. But look, I really want to say thank you again for spending time with us, Stanley. And I understand your job is a bit difficult because on the flip side, you've got a lot of news that comes out about gaming, and it's not always. Whenever you hear it, you hear exactly the opposite. Does it feel like it's sometimes an upward battle on this, or is it pretty smooth sailing over there?
Well, today, if you spend the weekend watching your favorite program on your tablet or your television, people will think that's exciting. And if you tell them, I spent the weekend getting to that next level of my favorite game, they may have a negative view. And game generation is our opportunity to share with the world the exciting benefits of gameplay. You get so much out of that interactive experience. You learn about storytelling. You're connecting with others. You're gaining empathy skills. And game generation is about celebrating what games bring and sharing that story with the broader world. And it's fueling interest among gamers who now want to share their stories in that positive way, because we know that the narrative out there today is not an accurate indication or view of what video games really do.
Yeah, and I understand there's a lot of games out there that actually help our young ones and even older ones like me with stress, right? It's a good, I mean, am I wrong on this? I understand there was a study done on this.
Actually, 73% of people who play games say they do it for stress relief. And we find that amazing in today's society because you find that everyone is reevaluating their relationship with their devices and with technology. They're concerned about this always-on world, and yet when they need an escape from the pressures of the day, video games provide that relief, and it brings them joy and excitement. So we're excited about sharing that story through game generation.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I was waiting for somebody to get out of the restroom, and I'm like, in order to keep my mind preoccupied, I'm going to play my game. So there you go. That's the way I think. I don't know. Stanley, thank you so very much for spending time with us here on The Morning Show. We hope to have you back.
Yeah, gamegeneration.org to learn more about this exciting campaign and see how you can participate.
All right, so there you go. You can get more info. I'm literally getting choked up over here. All right, we need to take a break here on The Morning Show. We'll be back right after these messages. Stay tuned. All right, there you go. It's like my voice gave out in the middle of that. I was like, how do I end this? All right. You ever have that happen at the most inopportune time, Jesse?
Yeah, I've actually had that a couple times where it's just like, oh my God, it's coming and you can't stop.
Yeah, I was really trying to push it off as long as possible. I thought maybe I could get this like last part out and then I could go into my hacking like caffeine fit after off on the break, but it didn't happen. All right. So there you go. But some pretty good information, right? I mean, when it comes to gaming, people rarely think of the educational part. I actually have to remind people that there's a whole educational component.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I remember like Legend of Zelda. Although it was, I mean, that was one of those where you had to like figure out. It was like a puzzle game. Remember, you had to like move this, move that, then move this, and then then you could get in. Remember that? You had to use your brain to get that.
That is true. You got to use your brain.
And then there's some that's just, and even target practice. Shoot, I mean, Call of Duty. There's a reason that is. I know people are thinking that's exactly what we were trying to prevent. But you get team camaraderie. You're not hurting anybody, and the majority of times it's actually really good. I like the inspiring creativity part.
One of my favorite games for learning growing up was Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego? And that helped me learn history.
Did it? Really? Yeah, I think there's more games like that really... Okay, Civilization. Remember Civilization?
Yes.
It was this where you kind of have... Well, you learn about the wars and the things that happen, but you kind of build your cities and build your people, and then your people go against the other people, and one of them wins. But you learn a lot there, too, and I was like,
We got 5 seconds.
Okay. I can go on and on about this. That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. Joining our live TV audience there at KVVB TV, 33 Facebook Live, Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, and much, much more. Roku TV as well. Download our app. It's KMET, 1490 AM. We'll give you a lot of ways to connect. We appreciate you all in social media as well. If you're just joining us, we just had a great conversation, which, again, I feel is like for every gamer out there, they need to just rewind, get some of those stats. And whenever somebody comes at them and says, you're wasting your time on that, you're like, you know what? 73% of people say this is actually stress relieving. So at least I'm not taking drugs to unstress myself. Okay. So there you go. That's I don't know. But look, I do know this. They will be at E3 this year. We hope to be at E3 this year as well. They're reminding me to get our media passes for that. So looking forward to that. And it's a huge, much bigger phenomenon than we've ever seen, I think, at any given time, where this is a worldwide generation of gamers which can get interconnected. I remember the very first game. Do you remember the first game that was fully multiplayer and that you were like addicted to, that you could go online and you were like, why is my speed not fast enough? Do you remember that game, Jesse?
Yes, actually I do.
What game was that for you?
It was my first MMORPG, which is massive multiplayer online RPG, and that was Final Fantasy 11.
Oh, I was on there. I don't remember my handle though. I think I always use my name, Aaron Sanchez or something like that. I don't know why. I just felt like I want to be me. Did you? Okay. So Final Fantasy 11, I played for hours, by the way. And I was like, but seriously. Okay. So the first one I remember that went fully multiplayer online was Halo. Remember Halo? I think it was number 3, I want to say, that came out. At first, you could play it with, they had like LAN parties, which are local area network parties where you can connect a bunch of was that Xbox? Yeah, that was Xbox. And you could do it like in the same room, or you could have them in another interconnected room. So everybody would bring their Xboxes. We'd hook them all up together on a LAN, and then our team would beat their team, and that was really cool. And then with the next generation of, I think it was Halo 3, all of a sudden it went online. So now you didn't have to wait for your friends to be up at like midnight or 3 o'clock a.m. Yeah, I know there were a lot of restless nights, but you play this, especially when you first get it, you're like, yeah. But I will say there is like a point when you have to put a limit on it as parents. As adults, I don't know what you do, but as parents, because then they stay up all night long and don't do their homework. So there's a fine balance, but it's a great motivator to get the, like, look, here's one of the things that I know my parents would totally do, because they weren't really big on like certain types of like discipline. But boy, if they just took away the Xbox game or my electronic devices, that right there, I think, Jesse, would you agree with me? That's like the worst type of punishment ever for a kid nowadays.
Yeah, for a kid, taking away their electronic devices is pretty much torture to them.
Yeah, it really is. Like, you can't say, go to your room, because they're like, yeah, I will. You got everything in there. But the moment you take everything out of the room and then say, go to your room, yeah, that's a whole nother story. So there you go. All right, guys, we're looking at social media. Looks like Stephanie saying she loved playing Crash Bandicoot. She played that game for all night on the PS2. Bobby Stamps over there agrees, loves Halo. So really cool. Let's see. Casey says E3 sounds like so much fun. It really is. I went maybe 2 years in a row, and I just had, it's a feast for the eyes. We even broadcast a little bit online because it's hard to get a good signal there at E3 because it's at the LA Convention Center, and it's just, plus everybody's on their mobile device, so it really drains all of the mobile towers in the area. But when I could, we were showing Legend of Zelda, and our team was doing some cool stuff. We were seeing the very first like iteration of gaming when it came to VR devices and handheld devices that were pretty cool, and we're just about to come out. It's all like a feast for the eyes. So as was brought up, if you have time, go get your consumer. I actually didn't know that they opened it up to consumers, so you might want to check that out. But it's a limited edition there, and or if you're part of the media, you can always get it there as well. All right, so enough about that. I know not everybody's into gaming as much as we are, Jesse, but I almost feel like I want to do a gaming show, right? It's like on the edge of my, I'm on the edge of my seat to do that. Wouldn't that be cool, Jesse? I don't know how we would do that though. I've one time pitched the idea, but I'm like, how can you do it for a radio audience? I don't know that it can be done, right? Unless you have like a call by call, like a play by play, like, you know, Jesse's now put down the, like, remember like Magic the Gathering Online? That's a cool strategy game, by the way. But I'm not sure everybody would be like, oh yeah, I want to listen to hours of that. So I don't know. We got to figure this out. But I think something around the corner. We got to do it before somebody else is going to do it. I know. So, because gaming is huge, $1 billion empire over there. And then with the gaming, like, people do these tournaments. This is a real gaming initiative. So you can't even be like, oh yeah, you're not going to make money doing that. There's people that play nonstop and make a lot of money just playing these games. So there you go. But there's that. And then there is this, which I'm glad for, but it's sad that we've come to the point in our lives where we have to get a law on this, by the way. The LA City Council voted to ban the use of wild and exotic animals for entertainment purposes. Yes, the ordinance, which began as a motion in 2016, makes it illegal to bring wild animals to parties or use them in a situation that requires them to perform tricks. According to council member David Ryu, the issue of... Hold on, can we just say that name again? Jesse, that's a pretty cool last name, right? We all know why.
Ryu? Yeah.
Was it Ryu or Ryu? I always called him Ryu.
Oh, I always call him Ryu. I don't know why.
Oh, you can. That's Street Fighter. That's a Street. What? We're in the gaming conversation. I'm sorry. Okay, let me go back to serious news. Councilmember David Ryu said the issue of wild, exotic, and even dangerous animals being used for entertainment came to our doorstep 4 years ago when a baby giraffe and elephant were being marched up the Hollywood Hills for a house party. It's time that the city of LA make absolutely clear that this abuse of wild animals is shameful and we will not stand for it. You know what? I'm a little on... when I first read this, I was totally for this. I have to read this further before I comment on this. According to this, animals banned under the ordinance include lions, tigers, leopards, jaguars, Yeah, you don't want those being brought to a party. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. Mountain lions, cheetahs, wolves, bears, hyenas, elephants, hippopotamuses. Imagine the hippopotamus coming in. Oh man, he didn't fit through the front door. Bring him through the side. I got the back. Rhinoceros. Yeah, who are these people? Moose, bison, giraffes, certain non-human primates such as a gorilla, chimpanzee, orangutans, baboons, macaques, as well as non-venomous. Yo, I'm all for this one. Non-venomous reptiles over 8 feet in length. What about all the venomous reptiles? Okay, the ban excludes typically domesticated animals such as horses. Wait, what? Wildlife conservationists who obtain applicable permits and the LA Zoo will be exempt from the ban because they exhibit animals for educational purposes and do not require them to perform tricks. I get that because I guess just trying to get them to do a trick, that's pretty debatable on how you get one to do. So he went on to say in this is beyond acceptable. We must end it. It's time that the city of LA take action to make clear that treating animals in this way is not in line with our city's values. The new law now heads to Mayor Eric Garcetti's desk for his signature. What do you think about this, Jesse?
Yeah, animals aren't for our enjoyment or pleasure. So I'm for it. Although I do enjoy the thought of them bringing animals to teach them about the animal and the habitat and whatnot.
Right.
Make it
Yeah, I mean, look, here's my feeling on the matter. If you want to even hear it, is this good for them? Good for them. I'm not gonna bash it. However, I would much rather bash those that actually mistreat animals and then are taken to court, and it's still a little misdemeanor, right? And then they go off and do it again. I know some areas of the country have actually taken a harder stance on that. So, or maybe I just need to do my research on that, see how hard it is over here. But I understand. You know what show I used to love to watch on Animal Planet? It was the one where they would go and there was this blonde girl with the what do you call it? The ponytail, and they were like animal control, and then they would. She was good because she would say it. She's like, yeah, we put them in, we do all this work, and then they just, they have the update, and 3 months later they just okay, they get a slap on the wrist, a little bit of fine, and back to work we go, right? So, yeah, I'm just saying, I don't know how I feel about that, but and there's some pretty bad crimes out there too when it comes to animal abuse. So I guess my point is, there's even worse animal abuse on that. I guess this is a good step in the right direction. However, I just feel more needs to be done there. It's hard. It's heartbreaking when you see this, and I forget the show. It was on Animal Planet for quite some time. I'm not sure because I don't get the channel anymore because I'm one of those cord cutters. However, it was a great show, and it really kind of opened your eyes to stuff that's happening behind the scenes, and how even though animal control is trying to do what they're doing, they have their hands kind of tied behind their back. There's only so much they can do. And but it was a really good show. I forgot what it was called though. Animal Planet, Animal Control. Or Animal PD. It was something like that. It was pretty cool. And then there's this. Okay, so since we're talking about animals, then there's the flip side of this. Mini horse. Pretty happy riding in first class. Yeah. This was a first class passenger on a weekend flight to Ontario International Airport. And Fred, his name, Fred, a mini horse service animal who flew from Michigan to Dallas and then on to Ontario before heading back home. His owner, Ronika, says she paid for 2 first-class tickets for his first airplane trip to take a stand against plans to possibly limit which animals can fly on planes. She says, quote, I paid an arm and a leg for our tickets. I wanted him to be comfortable. I wanted the most room. She says the mini horse, who wore a teal green suit covering most of his body, along with plenty of service horse labeling for the flight, is better trained than most dogs, lives inside her house, and, wait for it, fully housebroken. You know what that means, Jesse?
Yeah, you can flush the toilet.
So there you go. Man, some of these animals have it really good. I don't think I've ever flown in first class, but she must have had a lot of money to do that. And but there you go. You know what? She's a happy camper. The horse is a happy camper, and all I've got to say is good job to the airline that allowed this to happen, because I think they've kind of gotten on the, like, I didn't know horses could be, I thought, didn't they have this whole thing like you can't take a peacock? So now the peacock over there is like, what? You can't take me, but you can take a horse, a mini horse at that? So I don't know, but hey, you know what? More power to them. So that's pretty much it. We've run out of time. So you're probably thinking, what have I learned on today's show? Probably nothing, and then probably everything, right? I mean, think about it. E3 is coming up around the corner. Good to get your tickets now, especially if you haven't. And you might want to see if they actually have any tickets available for that. Also, gaming. Yes, it's not just a violent thing, as many actually say it is. There's a lot more that goes behind. And, you know, even on that, you know, I'm not going to get too controversial here. However, and I've seen it said on most times, but it's like anything, right? Let me just go back to having a knife. You have a knife. Doesn't mean you're going to stab anybody, right? You could play a game like we have. I mean, Jesse, I'm pretty sure you and I have never, and we've played some pretty violent games in our day, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd rather not list the games of, yeah, they're extremely violent.
Yeah.
Blood everywhere.
The majority of us actually, and I used to play some pretty bad games too as well. However, I have not gone out and done anything harmful. So there's obviously a compilation of stuff. Now, does it help those that are already perhaps not well or perhaps not thinking correctly? No, absolutely not. I mean, you could, like, you know, give that person a knife and be like, hey, be responsible with this. Yeah, not going to be responsible. So I think there's more than meets the eye. However, it's how we do it. And it's especially important for parents to be very cognizant of what their children are playing and being aware of. My parents were always very good at it. However, hey, you know what? I'm a kid. I'll do what I want. So, you know, they do that with their friends. But be as responsible of a parent as possible with your young ones, because again, when their minds are impressionable, sometimes they don't know the difference, and sometimes they need to be talked to and sat down and go, okay, you do realize this is a game. Let's talk about this. So have that discussion, make it a good one, and we will see the rest of you tomorrow right here on the morning show. Stay tuned for more right here, right after these messages. All right. For the rest of you tuning in, we appreciate you here on KVVB TV, Channel 33. And look, we got a lot of great programming here, by the way. It is fantastic. We've got so much so all you have to do is just type it in, KVVB TV, or add us to your local Roku device. If you have Roku and you're like, oh, yeah, I have a Roku, just search for us. It's simple, KVVB. It's where it's at. You'll have several, well, actually on Roku, you have the one channel to tune into. However, online, if you type in KVVB TV, and then you go to channel 33.1, you've also got actually quite a few other ones here as well. But let me just give you a glimpse into our great programming here at KVVB TV. Like, for example, after our show, the morning show, you've got The Balancing Act. Really cool. I like to watch that show, by the way. Sometimes I get caught up watching it. I'm like, oh, wait, I got to get back to work. Then there's Forensic Files. Who doesn't love a little Forensic Files, right? Kind of like make you think, yeah, I know where this person's going with how they're treating me. And then there's Positively Paula, Chef's Kitchen, and get this, by the way, Pawn Stars. Remember that? We had our Pawn Star you could watch the original episodes right here on KVVB at 6 p.m. Yeah, every day, 6 p.m., Monday through Friday, followed by The Red Booth, American Trends, and, of course, our other great show, Daily Flash, which premieres multiple times throughout the day, 3 times during the day, I think. So there you go. And then on the weekend, some other great programming as well. It's all right here, KVVB TV. We love to be with this entire family of great shows, so go check it out. You could also do so online. If you don't have Roku, it's simple. Just go to kvvb.tv, and if you type in 33.1, or if you go watch live channel 33.1, you'll see the programming right there. So there you go. Got some throat issues here, evidently. Okay, all right. So we'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same channel. Make it a great one. Whatever you do, remember, life is worth living. Live it well. Bye-bye, everybody.